morning. It's turned out nice again. Motherfuck, it's Thursday, the 30th of July, 2020. And you're watching KopTalk.tv. Alright. Hey guys, so I'm recording from my office. This is my office, basically. This is where I like to do my usual written work and things like that. Obviously, when I usually do my KopTalk.tv videos, I have that grey background, the red chair and everything. That's a separate studio. Okay, so this is my office, and basically I wanted to know if recording videos here in this location is acceptable to you. All right, and I think majority would say don't give a shit. Don't that's what I think. The reason I ask is because, as I've said in my previous videos, at the moment my studio is a bit upside down, and it needs to be sorted a bit. And I'm having to climb over boxes to get to my computer to speak to you guys. So it would be easier for me to do things in here at the moment, and maybe ongoing as well. I don't know. I might have to move them plant things, roses or whatever they're called, because it looks like I've got them stuck on top of my head. But let me know what you think anyway, guys. Now I will be live all day today on KopTalk.tv on this YouTube channel. All right, and I'm doing that every weekday now when I'm working. If I'm not around, it's because I'm busy doing something else. But the idea is to be live all day. I've been doing 7-hour, 8-hour streams. You can drop in, you can have a natter, you can leave, etc., etc. All right, so just come to this YouTube channel during the day if you're bored, and we'll probably be live. As you can see, Rodders is back on the desk. Those long-term viewers will remember Rodders, my old dog. He used to come. Do you remember I used to record videos and he'd barge in and fuck things up, basically. And when he died, so many of you were like, you were emo like me. And I remember putting an announcement on the KopTalk Facebook page, and he got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments saying rest in peace, Rodders. All right, so, well, if he knows you, you can call him Rodders. Well, you could, past tense, call him Rodders. If you didn't know him, if you were new, you had to address him as Rodney. All right. So, and then obviously Charlotte and Robert there, my two kids. That was a picture taken back in Torremolinos. And as you can see, Rob there especially is just a tiny, tiny little boy. What I wanted to speak to you today really about was politics. Now, I know it's a difficult subject. And I want to, before you start commenting, right, and caps locking people to death in the comments, don't fall out with each other. If any of you throw insults at each other, I'll just block you from the channel, all right? I don't care how long you've been on the channel. You can't abuse other people, all right? We don't want that, guys. We've got a good community here. Now, I also don't need replies about this government or that party did this, that Prime Minister did that. We all know what they've done and what they haven't done, all right? So you don't need to get wound up and get stuck into it. We should all respect each other's views and not try and change anyone else's. That's my personal opinion. Now, growing up as a lad, I was brought up on a council estate in England, and I spent most of my time with my grandparents because my mum had 4 jobs. My mum was a single parent, so my mum was out working her ass off all the time, and I was with my nana and granddad. So much so that I used to call my granddad Dad. I knew he wasn't my dad, but I just wanted to call him Dad. I was a young boy, 4, 5, 6 years of age or whatever. And my grandparents had nothing. They had fuck all, absolutely nothing. And so that by default, really, they were Labour supporters. And I was brought up in that environment. I remember the Conservatives coming around canvassing once. My uncle, who lived there, because it was his parents, went up to the window above the front door and chucked a thing of water over them. The Tories were despised, Obviously, things change, and I think the majority of people probably still despise the Tories. Things change over the years. The Labour Party now, I don't think, is the Labour Party from a few years ago. So I was brought up in this Labour-supporting environment. My mum then met a policeman. He was a sergeant, and they struck up a relationship and got together and got married. And I took his surname, because my surname isn't the name I was born with. And I treat him as my father. He wasn't my blood father, but he was my dad. He was the guy that brought me up and everything. And we were all Labour, but I think my dad might have been a Tory because he'd never tell anyone what he was. He'd never tell anybody. He wouldn't discuss politics. And because he was a policeman, we used to, I used to listen to what was said, and he used to go, Tories will be looking after the police. He never got into it. No, it might be unfair. Anyway, my mother hated Thatcher. I mean, I've still got a screenshot of a conversation, because when she was in hospital years ago, when she was poorly before she died. Well, let's not go into that. I was in Scarborough, my hometown, and I went for a drink in what was called the Conservative Club. I'd never been in there ever, but I was invited in. So I went in, there was all these pictures, and one of them was a big picture of Margaret Thatcher on the wall. So I took a picture of it and I sent it to my mum, who was in hospital in Hull. And that could have killed her, when I think back. And I sent her this picture. Hey, look who it is, mum. And you should have seen the response that came up on my WhatsApp. They're evil. Blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? She absolutely was like, get that off my screen. So, what I'm trying to say is that was the environment I was brought up in. I joined the Labour Party when I was 15, 16, or whatever the youngest age you could be. And I was a Labour Party member all through my adult life until a couple of years ago. Probably, might be 3 years ago now, I can't remember. I thought Labour went a bit weird under Jeremy Corbyn, you know what I mean? A bit too left for me, a bit too waffy. Don't get offended if you're over that side. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what fucking side you're on. We're not interested. And there's relevance here. So, in the 1997 general election, I canvassed for my local MP, and obviously Labour won. And it was a massive thing. In 1992, my nana was dying of cancer. She could hardly move. But she was adamant that she would vote to get them Tory bastards out, and she was frail as anything. And I remember driving her, I'd be 17 or 18, something like that. And I remember taking her to vote, from the hospice. It was that important, and I'd been brought up in that environment. I'd never seen anything but a Conservative government. All I remember as a kid was Margaret Thatcher taking the milk off us. Thatcher, the milk snatcher. So in 97, my nana died in 92 actually as well, bless her. When I look back, I don't know what date the election was on, but she more or less died not long after voting, with the big C. And so things like that stuck in my mind. My granddad stuck in my mind. My granddad was from Glasgow, the Gorbals. He was only a short man, but hard as fucking nails. Not a fighter. You're just brought up in that environment where you're hard, where they had nothing. So again, socialist, etc. And 97, when Tony Blair led Labour to victory, I partied all night long. I went to a nightclub and I said, can you put Things Can Only Get Better on, which was the tune by the Labour Party at the time. The DJ went, no, I can't put it on. I got 20 quid out or something. I went, can you put it on? And he put it on. And I was like, things can only get better, and all that, right? Because that was their tune. Because it was a massive thing. I'd never seen anything but Conservative rule. And this was the first time in my life I'd seen a Labour government. So whether it's right or wrong, whether they did good or not, you can all have your own opinions. So I just wanted to give you a bit of background to who I am, where I've been politically. Now, today, right, I'm not a member of the Labour Party, right, and today I would not vote Labour in a general election. And in the last general election, I did not want to vote Labour, but I did vote Labour, and I did that purely on the basis of Brexit, because, again, this is another subject, but, being in Europe is easier for me, for my family, moving around, things like that. I live in Europe, I do business in Europe, if you like. It makes it a lot easier. I saw the advantages of it. So I've got friends, very close friends, that are the complete opposite to me. But we respect each other's opinions. We're not bothered. We don't have discussions like that. And you shouldn't get triggered by it. You shouldn't come on here now and go in the comments going, you support it. You know what I mean? I didn't even vote in the referendum, and I was entitled to, but I didn't know what to do. I don't know whether being in Europe is the right thing or not. I don't know, because there was so many lies, and I'm not a finance person or anything. I just don't know, guys. So I looked at it from my point of view. It's like, well, it's a bit easier for me if we're in Europe. I've already seen a lot of changes that are affecting me because I live in Spain. So again, that's by the by. I'm just trying to show you where I've been politically. So I wouldn't vote Labour in a general election at all at the moment, which is an amazing thing for me to say. I can't believe I'm saying that. because I was brought up in that environment. I remember, my granddad, they always had the Mirror newspaper, the Labour paper. When I was 14, 15, 16 at secondary school, that was the newspaper I took to school every day. The Mirror news. You guys, you go back on here, you'll see me. The Mirror, 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 Mirror. That was sort of like drilled into me. Anyway, so obviously because Liverpool Football Club's always had massive like ties to socialist views, etc., etc. And the reason I was making this video was to see where you are in terms of your opinions regarding Liverpool Football Club and socialism, etc. today, if you like. Yeah, because we know that Liverpool's like its own country, really. Isn't it? It's like a republic. It wants nothing to do with fucking government or anything like that. Certainly, the traditional values are the, proper Liverpool people, Liverpudlians or whatever would fucking cringe at the thought of going near the Conservatives. But in the last election, it all changed, didn't it? I mean, there was certain areas of England, in the north of England, that had been Labour strongholds that forever, right, have switched now to Conservative. But again, I think a lot of this was all Brexit related. I don't know. So the reason that I'm making the video is because I saw some comments online on Twitter a few weeks ago. I was sat in the garden, fucking chilling, busy doing my work, and there was a thing going around, boycott this Liverpool site. I was like, oh, is it me again? Because they don't like me, do you know what I mean? Because I'm a bit outspoken and that, do you know what I mean? And I thought, oh, is it me? And it wasn't. It was another Liverpool site. And when it made me laugh out loud, it was a girl. It was a lass that said it, and it said, boycott this Liverpool site. It's owned by Tories or it's owned by Conservatives or something. And it made me laugh. It made me laugh, right? It made me laugh. And I just sat there and I thought, is that what it's like still today? Because we have a massive, fan base. And you're not telling me that every Liverpool supporter is a Labour supporter. And I think most Liverpool fans keep their mouth shut if they are maybe inclined to vote in Conservative, for example. I mean, let's be honest, you can vote for different people, but usually it's between those two, is it? I know we've had the Brexit thing has seen people like Farage gain interest and stuff over the years and stuff. And I'll be honest with you, Farage, while I wouldn't support his policies, etc., I kind of like him as an individual, and let me explain before you kick off, right? When I say individual, what I mean is, I like Donald Trump, I like Jeremy Corbyn, I like Nigel Farage. Now think about that for a minute. That's a complete spectrum there. What I mean by I like them as individuals is I like them because they stick to what they believe in. They're not your typical politicians that will say one thing to appease this group and that group and that group. So I'm not saying I agree with their policies or their beliefs or the things they say. What I'm saying is I like them because they've got personality in there. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not changing my views. So Jeremy Corbyn was one of them. He wanted to dress a particular way. He did change a bit that way, but he wouldn't change his views to maybe he did change his views a bit, because I know that you're going to start pulling me up now. What I'm trying to say is the core values they had. Like Farage, he'll stick to his guns. Trump will stick to his guns. He don't give a fuck whether you like him or not. And that's what I mean by like individuals. So when it comes to politicians, I can't stand them politicians that flip-flop around with the views just to suit other people and certain groups. I've got more respect for someone that goes, this is what I believe in, even if it's the complete opposite to what I believe in, and I can't stand what they're saying, but I like it when someone says, this is what I believe in, I'm not going to change my views. That's the point I'm making there. So, is it relevant to say, is it allowed to be, are you allowed to be a Liverpool supporter today and vote anything but Labour, is what I want to know. Now, I've joked before about stuff, to do with certain Conservative politicians before, and I've been slaughtered like that. That coming from a Liverpool fan, and I just think, what is this all about? Do you know what I mean? What's that all about, guys? Is that, I mean, look, when the next general election comes round, I don't know, I might vote Labour. Maybe it'll change now. I don't know. I have no idea how I would vote. I've never voted Conservative in my life, ever. All right, so I want to put that out there right now. I've only ever voted Labour in a general election, but in the last election I did vote Labour as well, but I didn't want to. I did it purely out of Brexit. So What's your views on it? What's your views on it? And maybe if you've got really strong views about it, you should say in your comment where you're from. Because I think that if you're from Liverpool, you're probably going to still have that view. But we've got supporters all over the country, all over the world. And some people all over the world won't even be interested in the red-blue divide, if you like. We don't like blue, do we, guys? We like red. So it's just like I say, I saw this comment on Twitter and loads of people were retweeting it saying it's owned by Tories, and it just made me laugh. It made me laugh. Maybe I shouldn't laugh. Someone will be in the comments now going, oh yeah, laughing matter, innit? 100,000 died because, you know what I mean? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to get into all that. I'm not interested in the politics, so to speak. I'm just interested about Liverpool Football Club has always had ties to socialism and socialist values. So are you allowed to, has it changed? Is what I'm saying. Has it changed? Do you keep your mouth shut if you are on the other side, is what I want to know. I just wanted to do a bit more of a serious video, really. It's something that I saw that tweet and I thought, is that really? Yeah, people are going to be like that, I guess. If you're from Liverpool especially. Because they won't forget what the Conservative government did to them. And they won't forget. And there's no wonder that they're so fucking, passionate about it. And also, regarding government that was in power to do with the Hillsborough disaster and things like that. And also comments that Boris Johnson has said in the past before about Hillsborough, I believe. I think he was writing in the Spectator magazine, which he later retracted or apologised or whatever. Not really interested in him, to be honest. But, I have a friend. No, I do. I really do have a friend. I have a friend. He's very left, right? And a few weeks ago, we meet every Friday. Me, my mate, and another mate. We meet at a pub. I don't have a drink. I have a Diet Coke. I'm on the health kick. He's very left. So the other week I turned up with a Trump 2020 t-shirt on purely to trigger him. That's it, right? And after the looks I got wearing that shirt, and I sat there, and he came in and he went, "Are you having it?" He said, "George, you having a fucking laugh, like? The fucking hell's that you got in there, you fucking barmy bastard, you?" All right, I'm like, it's Don, innit? It's the Don, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm cheeky, I like to wind people up, right? So I would wear that purely to wind someone up. That's who I am. Is that pathetic, or is it just having banter? Later that day, someone came round to my house and they looked at me. I went, "Oh no, I said I wore it for a joke," right? And he said to me that day, he said, "There's only two things." He said, "There's two things worse, more offensive than that t-shirt." And I went, "What?" He went, "A Sunderland shirt." But I thought, I'm not getting one of them. He said, a Boris Johnson shirt. He said, because he's a bastard. He said, a fucking bastard. Straight away. So you know what I did then the following Friday? I rocked up I had a big picture of Boris on it. It said Boris along the bottom. He went absolutely fucking mental. Mental. He said, "Are you trying to wind me up, like? You trying to fucking wind me up?" I said, no, I like the t-shirt, I said, "He's got to be one of the best prime ministers ever, hasn't he?" I said, "Other than Tony Blair." He went, "Don't mention fucking Tony Blair to me." Fucking Tony Blair. "And I'm a Labour man." He's telling me that. He said, "I'm a Labour man." And he says, and I can't stand that. Worst prime minister is the absolute bastard, he said. So you know what I went in last Friday? Tony Blair t-shirt. I got some Tony Blair pictures. Right, I just like to wind him up. I've stopped that. I can't be arsed. I am not going in a Sunderland shirt tomorrow. That is that. So, people are very passionate about politics. And I want to know if you think it is acceptable. This is the question. Is it acceptable as a Labour supporter to vote Conservative? That's the question right now. Start typing the answer. And with your answer, it would be helpful if you said, I am from the city or I'm not from the city. Because I think that people will be interested to read the comments. I think I know what the answer is going to be anyway. And for the record, it wouldn't fucking sway me one way or the other, because I'll do what I want. I'll vote for who I want and what's best for me and my family. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the way it is. In terms of voting Labour through the years, I've always been like, you look out for people. And I would still vote in that same way, right? So don't think it's just about me. But we all have, political opinions, don't we? Like the big one for me, you might laugh at this. The the most important policy for me, as I was growing up, and right through, and I'd still say it now, was the fox hunting issue. I've never supported fox hunting. I can't stand it. It's always them Tory bastards that do the fox hunting. I've never agreed with it. I hate it. One of my bestest friends lives in the countryside. He's got a farm. And it's part of the norm of their life that they have the hunts are on the land or whatever. I have to keep my mouth shut, you know, because he's my friend. I respect. I've never have a debate with him about it. But the main thing through life, you know, I've always wanted, like, I think fox hunting is disgusting, right? I think it's barbaric. I think the pensioners should be looked after, right? And you know, people should be looked after when they need help. The problem is that I think with society in the United Kingdom is that there is also this culture where people will take the piss, and that's the bit I don't like. And I think a lot of people are like that. So we all want to see people helped, right? But we don't want people to be taking the piss, because if you're going out and working flat out all week, and then, you know, you're coming home and you've got fuck all left at the end of the month, but you've got your neighbours that don't even go to work and they're swanning around in a new car or got all it, whatever, it's a bit soul destroying for people. So I understand that. So for me, I will vote for issues that affect me and my family and my children and my grandson. And then I fall back onto policy of, like, things to do with, like, fox hunting, and are they going to look after the pensioners and stuff like that? You know, maybe I'm a bit soft. The NHS, all the good, you know, the things that, that's what it's about. It's not about just thinking about yourself. I don't think it should be, and that's where your socialist values come in a bit. So I think that you know, you should look after people. That's what I think. I just think you should look after people. I don't like people that take the piss, basically, and that's when you start going the other way, because then they come down on that, don't they? So I don't want you to have a big debate in the comments about political views, the rights and wrongs. I think we all know, we've all got our own opinions. And when was the last time anyone changed their opinion because of a YouTube video like this, or a comment on Facebook? I've got people on my Facebook that bang on about politics all the time. I've got people that fucking hate Labour or hate the Conservatives, and every day all their posts is about that stuff. And I just unfollow them. I just say, I don't want to know. I'm not interested. I don't care. They're all a shower of shit at the end of the day. I don't care what anybody says. Have you ever really seen a big difference in your life because of who's in power? I haven't, but maybe that affects people individually. So that was the question. Is it acceptable as a Liverpool fan to vote Conservative? And when you answer the question, just say, I am from the city, or I am from the city. Like I say, we've got a global fan base, so it's probably not really relevant to those people. They probably don't understand or whatever. And I think, you know, the point, I guess, is, are the people of Merseyside, Liverpool, still treated badly as they were by that Conservative government decades ago? Does that make sense? Because, I mean, let's face it, Thatcher fucked them all over. There's no wonder. And the area that I'm from, when I say the North East, I don't mean I'm from Newcastle, Sunderland. I'm from North Yorkshire, which is further down, but it's like the north. Do you know what I mean? And where I'm from, you know, people there, generally speaking, don't really have much. And the north of England has always felt like it's been shafted, especially by the Conservatives. I lived just outside Newcastle for many years, and you wouldn't meet a fucking Tory. No one would ever admit to being a Tory. Where I'm from, Scarborough, no one would ever admit to being a Tory. But I've now got people on my Facebook that are like, hey, I'm a Conservative. What are you going to do about it? Because things change, times change, and maybe it's just to do with Brexit. I don't know. So yeah, it's a serious debate. It's a serious video. Don't argue with each other. We're not going to be brainwashed by your views. If you're pro-Liverpool or if you're pro-Conservative, no one's going to pay any attention to your waffle. I just want to know that would you boycott a Liverpool website because the persons or the people behind it, this was what was said about this website, because of their political views? I don't know. I don't know where I am really politically these days. Some things I agree with from the left, some things I agree with. I don't want to say agree with from the right, but I mean like harder policies on certain issues. I'm not one of these people that when you see immigrants in dinghies coming to the UK, I'm not one of these people that go, send them back. I'm not like that. You know, I do have compassion and empathy and things like that. But I don't like sponging lazy fucking twats. Because I've known people that have worked all their life in the UK, paid into the system all their life, done everything right, and then when they've fallen on the arse, been able to get no help. And that was from under a Labour government as well. Someone very dear to me. So I want to know about the political connection between Liverpool Football Club and those two political parties. I think you get my point. Have times changed, or is that still extremely relevant? Yeah, that's it. I don't think I can explain it anymore. So I hope I haven't offended anyone. If I've offended you, fucking hell, you need to watch some of my other videos. Let me know about the what was I about? Yeah, let me know. Is it all right to do some vids in here, guys? Are you all right with that? Because I'm sat at this desk all day. This is where I work from. Okay. And what else was I going to say? I've got some bits of piece. I'm selling loads of like bits of memorabilia off and that. If you're interested, the reason I'm selling it is because I'm on my ass. I've had stuff in my wardrobes for years. Look, this was a wedding present from Liverpool Football Club. They gave this to me when I got married at Anfield in July 1999. So that was given to me by the squad. There's other shirts. If you're interested, you need to be on my Facebook, which is Dunk Oldham, DUNKOLDHAM. I'm not sure who they are, but that will have been signed at Melwood. So yeah, Dunk Oldham. If you don't do Facebook, you can email me, dunk, DUNK, at KopTalk.com. I've sold some of my shirts off recently, some really good Liverpool ones, Jamie Carey ones, Paul Gascoigne, some really good stuff. And because things have been difficult with the pandemic when football got suspended and revenues haven't returned, so I've got all this stuff sat around, and I just thought I'd sell it. And basically, if I sell it, the money goes in the pot to pay a fucking bill. And yesterday I got a €900 tax demand. I can't believe it, just out of the blue. I pay all my taxes. As far as I was aware, everything was right. And yesterday they sent me a new one, €900. And you know what? They said it's going to be paid immediately. So they won't have it next week, next month. They won't have it over 3 months, nothing. It's going to be paid now. So I need to sell some shit. I've got to pay my bills, guys. I've got to be paying my bills. Them Tory bastards, even though I'm in a different country. Let me know your thoughts on it, guys. Do you think it's pathetic? Or do you think it's still important? I mean, the club is not owned by Liverpool people anymore. It's a very diverse club. A club that still does have socialist values in the sense of looking out for people. But just because if you vote Conservative, for example, does that mean then that by default you don't look out for people, that you don't care? For all we know, the chief executive of Liverpool Football Club could be a Tory. He would never admit that, though, would he? But you don't know what people do. Sometimes it's private. So I just want to know your thoughts on it. It's a sensitive subject, and I'm being deadly genuine with it. Like I say, I saw it on Twitter about this website. I can't remember what it was. It was caught up in some controversy. It makes a difference from it being me. No, I don't vote Conservative. I've never voted Conservative. If I wanted to, I fucking would, because I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. No, I've always been a Labour man, but I just think it's gone a bit too left for me, a bit too much tree hugging for me. Do you know what I mean, guys? So I welcome your thoughts, serious debate. If you can't debate seriously, we'll just get rid of you. All right. So let me know if you like it in here. All right. And if you do, I'll churn out more videos. That's for sure. 'Cause it's a lot more better than going in my studio at the moment. All right, guys. Take care. Don't forget, I'm live on here. When you watch this video, I'll probably hear if it's during the day. Okay. Take care, and I'll catch you later. All right.